Let's start, as we have been in the room upstairs, talking about Harry Kane and the whole situation there, because Ange Postecoglou has said he's not really relaxed about the whole situation. He said it's fair to say, I'm not relaxed about it. It's not something you go, oh, well, you know, if it does or doesn't happen. I mean, it's a very important part of this football club. We don't want to be doing it for too long. I don't think that it's good for anyone. But the flip side of that is I don't want to put a deadline on it, because that adds even more pressure. It's not like his contract is ending on the 12th of August and he's got to make a decision. He's got another year. I'm not putting pressure on him or anyone else at this football club saying, well, we need to do this. And is that the right approach, Don?
From the manager, it is. I think he's saying the right words. He doesn't want to put a deadline on it because he knows if he said 2 weeks' time, in 2 weeks' time, he's then going to be under pressure to answer the questions again. So I think he's just fobbing it off for the time being.
Right. And what about Harry Kane?
I don't. When we had a massive argument upstairs.
Well, no, what do you mean massive? You were the only one arguing.
I was arguing with myself.
You are adamant.
I am
he has to
adamant.
stay this extra year.
And it's not because I'm in the know. It's just because I'm putting myself what I would do if I was Harry Kane, and I don't see any rushing in, because the only club that's coming for him, as we are led to believe, is Bayern Munich as it stands. So you can either rush and jump into the Bayern Munich, which is still a massive football club and would be great on his CV, or you can try and wait 6 months to January, wait one season, and you bring Bayern back onto the table. You bring Barcelona, you bring Man City, you bring Real Madrid, you bring Man United, you bring Liverpool. You bring every single club to the table entering discussions on a free transfer. And I said yesterday, I mean, the thought of Man City potentially signing Harry Kane on a free, playing with Haaland, I mean, it's the dream ticket. If you're Real Madrid, you're spending no money on Kylian Mbappe in a year's time and no money on Harry Kane. I mean, what a couple of signings they are on free transfers. So I don't get the rush that everyone's sort of clamouring for, that Harry Kane goes now to Bayern. I just don't think it makes sense.
And yet, nobody upstairs agreed with him.
No, and Don asked us if it was us in that position, Ali and myself, what would you do? And I think at the moment, for Harry Kane, I think the best move for him would be Bayern Munich. I think the side suits him perfectly. They've got runners in wide areas, quick players. He's a centre-forward that likes to come short. He'd link up the play, he'd get others into the game. Bayern Munich are a big club. They've got a good coach in Thomas Tuchel, and I think you'd see the best of Harry Kane in a Bayern Munich side. That's what I think.
And you'd also say that you'd go to Bayern Munich, LA?
Absolutely, I would. But first and foremost, the first thing I would say has nothing to do with Harry Kane. It has everything to do with Don. Don, you got to get out of the hotel room. Yeah. Right? You're spending way too much time in the hotel room dealing with people on social media and getting in every single argument there is. All I'm going to tell you is, and one of the arguments that you had for hours apparently today was about Julian Alvarez and Erling Haaland, and they can play together. So why can't Kane and Julian Alvarez and this guy and that guy and Haaland? Harry Kane and Julian Alvarez are not the same type of player. They're not the same caliber of player. We're talking about one guy who is on the verge of breaking the all-time record. It's something that you have brought up time and time and time.
Which means a lot. It means a lot to him.
Correct. And so he's on the verge of breaking this record. And you have Julian Alvarez, who's now in the beginning part of his career in the Premier League and just making an impact in the Premier League. The thought of having Harry Kane and Erling Haaland play together being the same thing as Julian Alvarez and Erling Haaland play together.
I've never said that. I never once stated that Harry Kane and Erling Haaland would be playing together as two nines. Harry Kane is a 9-stroke number 10. We've seen that many a time at Tottenham. He comes short, gets on the ball, and still bangs in 25 or 30 goals a season. So his football intelligence allows him or Guardiola to sign him on a free transfer and still be effective.
But how many times have you ever seen Pep Guardiola, and Alvarez played, I think, 12 times with Haaland, and sometimes as a sub, sometimes as a starter, but he never really played as a centre-forward. How many times have you seen Pep Guardiola play with two centre-forwards in his time?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that, because our producer sent me a list today of how many times they played together.
I said 12.
And it was about 12 games, and they won nearly every single one. But he sent me the results as well, a 5-0, a 6-0, a 3-0, a 4-0. Why can't they play together? Harry Kane is an unbelievably intelligent footballer.
But then that would take away the way that Pep Guardiola likes to play. He played with three in central midfield, with midfield players running beyond the central striker. He plays with two wide players.
You don't think the genius and Guardiola would change his...
He's been a genius coach for years, but he still plays very much the same system. He might play with 3 at the back or 4 at the back with a wide player coming in field, but he always plays with 2 wide players and a centre forward with midfield players making...
You don't think the genius in Guardiola, if he had Harry Kane and Haaland and Alvarez, he could find a way of Kane and Haaland playing together.
But you'd have to play Kane. You say he's a number 10. He's not a number 10. He's a number 9 who likes to come back.
Exactly.
But you wouldn't play them upside together. I just don't think.
Well, why? What you're doing is you're adding, 70, 80 goals to Man City.
But you take away then some of the width. You're taking away a midfield player.
Well, what you're doing is you're taking 30 goals away from Tottenham at the same time. By signing Harry Kane.
Okay, first of all, Manchester City is not concerned about the 30 goals that they're taking away from
No, they're not, but it's a factor.
Well, it may be a fact, but the truth of the matter is that we're talking about Manchester City and the potential of having Harry Kane and playing alongside Erling Haaland.
Yeah.
Because that's if you're going to have them on the team, they're both going to play.
Absolutely.
Right. Harry Kane chooses to drop into the midfield for Spurs.
Yeah.
He chooses to do that to be a facilitator when he feels like the team needs it. However, you're not on the verge of breaking a record, all-time record, as a Premier League all-time goal scorer by being a facilitator.
You've done it last season.
No, by being a facilitator.
You've done it last season.
What do you mean you've done it last season?
He's done it last season by dropping into being a number 10.
And he starts up front and then drops in.
So why can't he do that with Man City? It's like you're pigeonholing Harry Kane to say, right, and what you think I'm saying is play Harry Kane as a 9 and you play Haaland as a 9. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying you can play the both of them in the same 11, and Harry Kane will still get you 30.
Guardiola won't want to do that because he wants to make sure they outnumber the opposition in midfield. He wants to outnumber them in the wide areas, not in the centre forward position.
You say that for the majority, not majority of games, for some of the games I commentated on Man City last season, they played 4-4-2. So you're losing the midfield player by playing 4-4-2. So he's not adverse to doing it.
Alvarez only played 12 times up front.
Well, there you go. So he's played 12 times 4-4-2 off the top of my head.
Well, nearly every game.
But you're talking about a midfield player that you're losing by having a striker. They played 4-4-2 with 2 midfield players. They dominate the football.
So they didn't play Gundogan, Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne.
They have fullbacks. They have fullbacks that end up being inverted midfield players, so they outnumber the opposition anyway.
OK, let me ask you this, though, Don.
Sorry, I mean, do I have to because while I'm here, should I teach these two guys some tactics in football?
No, because I think you're making it to look so simplistic. You're not thinking about the other part of the game. Alvarez is useful to Pep Guardiola and playing alongside Erling Haaland because he's willing to run into channels. He's willing to go and press defenders. He's willing to go and try to recover the ball in the middle of midfield and tuck inside as well. You're going to ask an elite striker like Harry Kane, hey, guess what? You're going to run the channels for me. You're going to go press over there. So then you're losing that part of the game, which is one of the things that Manchester City and Barcelona teams that Pep Guardiola has coached in the past, that's what makes them successful, that they're able to regain possession in the attacking half. Now you're forcing Harry Kane to do that for you as well?
So let me ask you a question. If you're Guardiola, would you outright say, I don't want Harry Kane on a free transfer?
Under those terms, that wouldn't be my concern. But
that's my question.
No, but you're saying...
Because in a year's time, he will come into the conversation of bringing everyone in on a free.
One of the things that you have said, Don, is that it's a no-brainer. It's just as simple as having great players, great coaches. You even put a cute check next to it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How did that work for PSG? Because you had great players together.
Completely different story.
No, but hold on a second. You're saying, they're going to score 100 goals because Kane is going to score and Haaland's going to score, right? Well, PSG didn't score 150 goals.
No.
And they had 3 of the best players, perhaps, in the history of the game.
I think
so it's not just about players. It's about how you fit those pieces together. And part of what makes Manchester City a great team is because they are a team with great players, but a great team that pieces fit together. But this would be forcing a piece into an area that I don't think quite matches what you're suggesting.
By using PSG, I think you're exaggerating a point to make a point. That's not the comparison watching PSG carry 3 footballers who don't track back. That's a bad example to use.
No, but you say it's simple. It's no-brainer. You said it. I didn't say it.
Well, I stand by
that. It's a no-brainer. Great players, great coaches, and that's it. That's all you need.
Right.
Did it work for PSG?
No, because you're talking about 3 players who didn't track back.
Are they great players?
Depends what you
class. Okay, all right.
It depends what you class as a great player. Did anyone?
I rest my case.
No, you don't, because did anyone seriously think PSG, with the 3-star quality players they had, were going to win a Champions League? No chance.
But we're going back to what you said.
It was never going to work.
You said great players, great coach means success.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure if you've got Haaland and Kane, as I said before, you're putting 80 goals on the table straight away.
So Mbappe and Messi, I'm not a fan of Neymar, but with those players in the team, it guaranteed success.
But Messi was at the tail end of his career. Mbappe's been talked about a move to Real Madrid for quite a while, and Neymar's Neymar. He's missed 150 games.
But we still go back to Pep Guardiola would not want to play with Harry Kane and Haaland up front.
I totally disagree.
Let me ask this question, though. Why not Bayern when you have a chance to win trophies next season? Why not? You could even win the Champions League.
You could, but I don't think they will. I don't think they're anywhere close to Real Madrid or Man City, so there's no guarantee you win a Champions League with Bayern.
But there's probably a guarantee he'll win a trophy, which there isn't with Spurs.
Yeah, you wouldn't have said that on the last day of the season last season. When they won the
But
league
what
by
did
1
they do?
point.
But what did they
No,
do?
I get it. No, I'm not putting... I'm on Bayern, I'm not putting anything
Imagine
down.
if they did have that striker like Harry Kane
No,
last
he'd be
season.
amazing for them. Of course he would. It'd be amazing for them. He'd probably churn out 30 goals, as I said. But from my angle, what I'm saying is, from the footballer's point of view, it doesn't make any sense diving into a move to Bayern, unbelievable, football club and a massive juggernaut of a football club they are, to put a very quick trophy in the cabinet. Whereas if you wait 6 months and wait and go on a free next year, you bring Man City where you can put 5 trophies in the cabinet inside 2 years. You've got the potential to go and have Real Madrid on your CV, which are levels. When you play for Real Madrid, when you play for Real Madrid, once you've worn that shirt, that is huge for your career. That puts you on the world map. So that on a free transfer, and Mbappe on a free transfer, I can't see why you dive into Bayern.
Because you're looking at this, you're saying, let's focus on this summer, but then you're making it seem as if, like, there are no other players in the world, and the market is not a fluid place, and teams don't need to make decisions financially that not only secure their present but also secure their future. You're looking at it if we're playing with monopoly money here, as if we can make every decision that we want, and it's not quite
that's
that
the
easy.
thing, monopoly money. There's no money because he's on a free transfer. There's no money.
But at the moment, the only thing that's stopping Harry Kane going to Bayern Munich is Daniel Levy. Because I think Harry Kane wants to go to Bayern Munich.
I don't think he does. I'm not sure he does.
Why would he have talks with them? Why would he talk about transfer, not transfer
play the
fees,
game.
wages and all that
You've
sort
got
of
an
stuff?
agent. You can play. I mean, let's have it right. We've heard from Uli Hoeneß, we've heard from reporters, we've heard from pundits and everyone in the game. When was the last time you heard from Harry Kane's camp on this?
Well, why don't we? If he's going to stay at Spurs, why doesn't he do that for the club that he loves? Why doesn't he speak sooner?
Because he's probably keeping Bayern on a leash where maybe he joins. Maybe he joins in this window, but maybe he's thinking, why would we want to upset Bayern Munich? Because we're going to try and bring them to the table.
Because we go back to where
summer.
we started. Ange Postecoglou has got a massive problem. Because he's got to build his team around a centre-forward that might not be there in 2 weeks. And right on transfer deadline day, they sell him maybe to Bayern Munich, and now they've got to get a striker in to replace him.
And that is correct.
And that's bad management, I think, from Daniel Levy again.
Well, that is correct, but that's a whole new discussion. We were talking about Harry Kane, the player, and what potentially does he do in terms of his move.
So let me ask you one more thing, just because you said it. Was Lewandowski on the world stage when he was at Bayern?
Yes, he was, yeah.
So Harry Kane would be on the world stage.
No, I'm not saying he wouldn't. I just think there's levels, and I think with every footballer, I think timing's the most important thing in terms of your move. And going to Bayern, I've got no doubt he'll be a success. And I've got no doubt Bayern will probably win the league again for the 10th time, wherever it is. And he'll be huge for them, and the club will be successful. My angle is, I don't think you would rush into that move. And it's not just because it's Bayern. I think because the potential buyers, I'll say that loosely because he's on a free transfer, you bring all of those clubs, you bring Barcelona, you bring Real Madrid, you bring Man United, Liverpool, Man City, everyone to the table next year on a free transfer. And by the way, which means a lot to him, is potentially breaking Harry Kane's record. So staying in the Premier League might be a pull. So staying at Tottenham for 1 more year, he gets 25 goals closer to Shearer's record, which means a lot because that might never, ever be broken. So to him, he might be thinking that's worth more than a trophy.
In the end, there's only 2 things he's going to do. He's either going to go to Bayern Munich or he'll sign another 4-year contract at Spurs.
He won't. I don't think he signs at Spurs. I think he stays 1 more year, and I repeat myself, he goes somewhere on a free.
Here's the thing, Don.
I don't think he signs for Tottenham again.
Here's the thing, Don. Not in studio, but usually when you are at your home, you come on and tell us things as, I guarantee you, he's going to Manchester City. Harry Kane going to Manchester City. So here in studio, we have the opportunity. Are you then guaranteeing?
No, how can I guarantee?
Well, you've done it in the past.
How can I guarantee on something and someone I don't know? What I'm guaranteeing is from what I would do as a player.
Right.
And my senses are, I don't know why you'd rush into a Bayern Munich move when you can go to Bayern next summer, Real Madrid, Man City, Liverpool, Man United. You can go to anyone you like and you bring them all to the table. Then all of a sudden you're negotiating power in terms of how much money you want.
So if you're going to
and you're a year older.
I don't know.
And you're a year older. 31. Hey, it does make a big difference.
31. 31 to Kane. I mean, come on. The boys, Zlatan's played to 40. Come on. 31.
All right.
Baby.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.